Alright, y'all, I have been out of town, so I have been unable to post all of the videos that I have recorded, but there's so many that's recorded. We've got the Austin McBroom video, which I'm releasing right now, and a few others, but the Austin McBroom really caught my eye, and I wasn't even going to do a video, but there has been so much drama around it that I actually decided to do some research and was very flabbergasted, I guess I'll use that word, on what I saw. And there was a lot of topics that I wanted to create with this story, but I think the main one we're going to focus on today is what it means to date a man that's, for one, a narcissist and kind of drives you on the deep end and you already have kids with this person. I think that this story with Austin and Catherine, there's so many lessons to be learned here, but we always, like I say, with each videos, I keep them around 7 to 10 minutes, and there's just so many topics here that we have to choose one. I think Catherine also, she is a very beautiful girl. We're not going to speak too much on her spirituality and Austin's spirituality. That's for a whole other video on what I think of everything with that. We're really going to focus more on the timeline, what has unfolded, what's been said, and then, as you guys know, recently she's been on that podcast, Call Her Daddy, where she kind of did an expose. She answered a lot of questions, and we're gonna dive into a couple of things. So let's just get the ball rolling. I want to start off by saying I did watch the Call Her Daddy podcast video of her talking about her relationship with Austin McBroom, and I know she has her book out. I have not read the book, so I'm not going to speak on the book. And then I watched a couple YouTube videos. I looked at some rants Austin made. So I'm kind of basically going off a couple of different clips. I do know that a lot of people have watched Catherine from the very beginning. I unfortunately am not one of those people. I always found couple videos very cringy because I always questioned whether or not it was real or not. And I know that sounds kind of like a hater, but the truth is, you guys, my longest relationship and a lot of people's longest relationships are the ones that are private and not really out there where everyone has an opinion on it. So I don't really believe that you should put your relationships out on blast like that, because it just causes a lot of people to have an opinion on your relationship. Same with family. I don't really do family vlogs. Matter of fact, as y'all can see, my videos don't even show my face. Y'all don't even know what I look like. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. Now, Catherine talked, let's start from her upbringing and how she saw her family, her parents not staying together. Very typical story. We've heard it all before. Single mom, dad and mom don't work out. The child grows up to want the relationships to work out, marriages to work out, kids to see the parents in the same household, yada, yada, yada. Now, here is the number one thing that it comes to narcissist men. Once you tell a man, my family didn't stay together, I want the kids to grow up together, and I'm willing to do whatever I gotta do to put in the work, you are telling the man that you are 100% willing to do all of the emotional, put up with any emotional weight, physical, mental, spiritual. They kind of know right then and there, I can take care of this woman because her parents didn't stay together. So now I know she has some sort of daddy issues, mommy issues, whatever it may be. And men capitalize on those kind of things. And I know behind closed doors, there was probably multiple instances where Austin probably manipulated Catherine. And when they argued, it probably was like, okay, well, if we break up, you're going to be a single mom, just like your mom. And you're not breaking the generational curse. And, you're going to be the typical single mom that's walking around, just doing it by herself. And so I always tell women, especially when I'm coaching the single women, do not trauma dump. When I got engaged, my fiance at the time, now my husband, was very shocked when we got into a deep, conversation with family. He was like, wow, I did not, I know that you've talked about your childhood, but you've never said it like this. I didn't realize you went through this, or that your dad put you through this, or your mom put you through this. And he was actually like shocked and flabbergasted and was like, I would have never guessed. You carry yourself very well. And that's because I believe that when you are with someone, don't come in talking about your daddy issues, your mommy issues. Make it seem like, hell yeah, I have my father in my life, and you should carry yourself as such. When the truth is, I had coaches raise me just like I'm raising other people. There's a lot of people on YouTube and people that I've listened to for a long time that, you can read some good books, Why Men Love Bitches, and really educate yourself on how to carry yourself and how to deal with men in general. Okay, because the truth is, they play the game with you. You need to know how to play the game back. And I very much act like I have people in my life and in my corner, and that I don't have to deal with anything that you put my way. I don't tell, I never told my husband, well, I had really bad daddy issues. My daddy wasn't there. I never gave him that story. My story was, yeah, my mom and dad may not be together, but I saw my dad almost every day, or da 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 da. And, you guys can say whatever you want. I really wasn't lying. It was more so, I'm not going to allow you to believe that I don't have a man around or people around me that are there for me, whether it be brothers or even male friends or whatever, that keep me on game.
Because the truth is, the worst thing you could give a man is telling him that you will stick through anything that he puts you through. No matter what, I'm going to work this out with you because we have kids, we have a family, this and that. Now, I'm not saying that all women should be like, I'm going to leave and, there's a dime in a dozen, nothing like that. And I'm not even saying that you have to actually leave this person. Like, the main thing is, you should never put a man in a situation where your actions are showing you're going to stay no matter what. He should definitely be in the back of his mind thinking that if he betrays you in some sort of way, you could leave. Now, we are getting in at 7 minutes, so we're going to try and reel this whole video in, because the main purpose, like I said, is what it is dating a narcissist man. And I mean, Catherine's story is actually very sad, especially when it comes to the financing and realizing her home is being foreclosed and all of that. I mean, these are really, really sad things to happen to somebody. And I know that in life, a lot of people tend not to have any sympathy for people that have money. And I think that's actually a very sad thing, because we all want money. We all need it to survive. And if you're able to make it to a point to where you're very successful, it's actually very sad to go back to a situation you thought you'd never be in. And I'm not even saying on being super rich. The thing that I'm really saying is, let's say you have nothing and then you finally go make something for yourself. To lose it all is a very anxious, depressing feeling of like, dang, I got out of this and I never thought I'd be in this situation again. So it's still very sad to see Catherine in this situation. I'm going to close out the video with this. At the end of the day, the main lesson of dating narcissistic men is you have to love yourself. No matter what trauma that you've gone through in your childhood, you have to heal from it. Find a way to heal through it. Find a way to move forward so that you can't be manipulated. But the main lesson is love yourself first, or else you will fall for someone who only loves themselves. And that is a very sad, very, very sad thing to go through. And a lot of women, they date these kind of men and they think that with time they'll change. Maybe with a baby they'll change. And I'm not saying that Catherine thought that having a child with Austin would change him, but we don't know. We don't know the full inner, deeper thoughts unless it's revealed in the book. And like I said, I haven't watched them throughout that journey. I was never a family vlog watcher. But one thing you can't do is fix a narcissist. You can't fix them. You can't change them. A lot of times narcissists feel like they are just better than the average person. They think that they're perfect people. They actually really genuinely do. That actually explains a lot about them, because Austin, being a narcissist, he does come across like he really feels like he does nothing wrong. So you can't change or fix someone that, for one, doesn't want to grow, and for second, doesn't think that they're even doing anything wrong. Okay. And you date them, they don't care about your boundaries. You can come in and be like, well, I'm going to have my boundaries. It doesn't matter. You having your boundaries doesn't matter, because narcissists test your boundaries, they blur them, or they outright violate them. They don't care. So you have to know the difference too between intensity and intimacy. A lot of people don't talk about love bombing a lot, which narcissists are really good at. Austin definitely in a way love bombed Catherine. I mean, they got married very quickly. From what I understand, they skipped the dating phase. And I know in Catherine's mind, she's like, it was meant to be. But that's kind of how they get you. They love bomb you so that you're so in la la land that you don't know the difference of like, this person's like love bombing me, or this person's just being very intense in general to kind of test what they can and cannot do with the boundaries. In these type of situations, you guys, your intuition is really a survival tool. And even if you can't explain it, you have to trust your gut if something feels off, because narcissists are skilled gaslighters and they really make you question your reality. So that's kind of it for the video. Know who you're dating. Honestly, and I tell a lot of people this, and people think I'm crazy for it, but Google what a narcissist is and prepare yourselves for when you interact with them. They're kind of dangerous, you know. Just because you're not a serial killer doesn't mean you're not dangerous. You know, mental abuse can sometimes be worse than physical. Unless, of course, losing your life is involved, then, I mean, nothing's worse than that. But mental abuse is tough. It's a very tough thing. So brace yourselves out here. Be really smart with how you move.